Welcome back. WeArEuS, and this is Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Now, as you may remember in the previous episode, we got finger banged by a demon woman with a human face, no eyes, and hooved feet. It was an experience. We also seem to have lost the ward stone. I don't know about you guys, but I felt I could have won that fight. I felt like I could have won. But apparently now is not the time for our victory over her just yet. Anyway, I was going to, in the previous episode, go through here and take care of everyone else and all of their, well, we got everyone I'm with right now has an extra level, and I wanted to spend that point and push our build just a little bit forward. But unfortunately, when I took a few steps in here, Anevia had something to say. Hey, wait, mind if I bend your ear about something? Anevia is outside your door, leaning casually against a shelf. So, here's the first and most important thing. Beth gave you a crucial mission. I get that, and I know you'll get the job done. I saw you in action. But here's the rub. By sending you out on an errand, we're weakening our defenses here. If they come at us while you're gone, I don't know if we'll be able to fight them off. So when do you think the demons will attack next? Your guess is as good as mine. It might not be here. They could attack the whole city. Those vermin know they've lost the upper hand and that we're going to push back hard. If things kick off here, you should know. After they attack, some things could be changed beyond recognition. So if you've got any business that needs taking care of, you'd better do it soon. So, seems like the devs are trying to tell us if we've got some business to take care of in the city, we should do it. Like, remember, in the previous episode, Beth also told us that they have some sort of a stash just in case the sky starts falling in their house. I don't remember where it is, but I'm sure I'll be able to find it. This seems dumb. Well, everything else seems clear so far. What else do you wish to discuss? So, the rift that Beetle left with its scythe? Yeah, well, it cut the city into two, and it's kind of difficult to get across. My scouts tell me there's a halfway decent place to set up a crossing in Market Square, not that any of them tried to make sure. But if you've got a mind to go across, I think you're going to have to, and I think you're going to have to eventually. You might want to give this square a once-over. I really don't want to leave any options unselected, so I'm only going to probably avoid selecting options if they look like they're obviously going to have negative repercussions. In this case, I can't see how this would have a negative repercussion, so we're going to go with it, even though I find it to be objectively stupid. So, do you want me to stay here and guard the tavern? You what? No, your task is far too important. You can't just hole up here all cozy like waiting for the demons to knock on the door. We need to take the fight to them. But if those freaks try to make a move on this place, Beth will send a runner to get you. If that happens, you leg it back here, alright? Because if you don't, you'll be coming back to an ash pile. Got it? I appreciate the warning. See you later. Later. Watch yourself out there. And with that, I presume I now have my freedom to do whatever it is I want. I remember Staunton Vane has apparently had a run-in with I can't remember the woman's name. It's been several days since I last recorded that video. Or since I last recorded the previous episode. So, I don't remember the demon's name. But Staunton Vane does have a connection with her, and getting more information on her can only help. The dwarf resembles an abandoned... Yeah, it actually says The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high, crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty, lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead. Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the great garrison. Name's Staunton Vane. If you've heard rumors about me. His face, which looks like it has never known anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me, it's true. I need to talk to the elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? Storyteller? Staunton strokes his beard in thought. Strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours asking all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort, he just listened. At first I wanted him in his questions as far away from me as possible, but later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he's alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble too, so if he's alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Black Wing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on the map. I don't know what use the library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. Now, I have no idea what people say about you. Do you care to fill me in? They say I'm a traitor. As bad as WeArEuS, that I'm a disgrace even among the ranks of the Condemned. The Condemned is a military unit made up of petty criminals conscripted as disposable soldiers and frontline fodder in the Mendevian Crusades. Also, who is a WeArEuS? Hardly any name arouses so much rage among crusaders as the name of a WeArEuS, a Sarkorian witch who initiated the opening of the world wound, and then made it expand. Almost nothing is known about her life before the atrocity except that WeArEuS was condemned for using arcane magic, which was persecuted in Sarkoris and imprisoned in the Tower of Threshold in the city of Iz. This is where WeArEuS conducted the ritual that paved the way for the demonic invasion, and left her land to be tormented by the demon lord Deskari. In some mysterious way, the witch transformed herself, turning from a regular human into a half-demon. Over the following centuries, Crusaders only encountered WeArEuS or the results of her experiments a few times, but learned nothing more of Deskari's henchwoman. She holds a high position in the ranks of the Army of the Abyss and holds the title of World Wound Architect. And that Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. Sheesh. How far does this expand? It's not too bad, and since I have no idea who Queen Galfrey is, I think I should give this a read. If this does not interest you, or you at least know who Queen Galfrey is, you can skip ahead. I guess it'll only take me a minute to read this. Queen Galfrey is the absolute monarch of the Crusader state of Mendev and leader of the Mendevian Crusades. While today the name of the Crusader Queen is known throughout the Inner Sea region, it's easy to forget that Galfrey did not start her rule of Mendev as a paladin of Iomade, but rather of Eredin. When the world wound opened and forever changed Mendev, Galfrey was still an untested young ruler who was forced to deal with the death of her god, while simultaneously rallying her nation against the abyssal threat to the west. She rose to the challenge, however, and her leadership was instrumental over the next several years, not only in protecting Mendev from demonic invasions, but also in holding the border against the world wound. When the Church of Iomade organized the First Crusade, it joined forces with Mendev to push back the demon armies. During these battles, Galfrey time and time again distinguished herself with a keen grasp of tactics and skill at leadership. But this inspiration went both ways. In the Church of Iomade, Galfrey found something to replace her lost faith. By the time the First Crusade ended with the apparent defeat of the demon armies, Galfrey had converted and become a worshipper of Iomedae, and had completely retrained herself as one of the Inheritor's most devout paladins. Eager to retain such a valuable leader at the head of the Crusades, the Church of Iomedae twice purchased and presented to the Queen the rare and expensive Sun Orchid elixir, which extends mortal life beyond its usual span. Can I get some of that? Then again, I'd probably squander it. Well, squander that extra time. Who knows what sort of side effects that might have. Thanks to this boon, the Queen has lived and led the Crusaders for more than a century. Sheesh. So, let me repeat that sentence and then we'll continue on. That Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. I belong on the gallows. I know why they hate him. He's to blame for the death of someone important. But we'll ask just the same. You really don't know. Staunton gives you a long, morose look, then sighs. I'm the reason why the Crusade forces are holed up in fortresses on the edge of the world wound, instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the wound, the mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I've done, so that's how I live. Decade after decade fighting in the condemned. The dwarf shrugs. As you can see, I have fixed nothing. I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? It wouldn't surprise me. Keeping in mind our chaotic neutral nature, I couldn't think of a word. Or alignment could also have worked, but keeping in mind that we're chaotic neutral and we're hoping to do good, but not going to allow that label to bind us. In so doing things that need to be done. And making the hard decisions. In this case, this is one of those times where, a man has led a hard life and made mistakes, but it's not my place to judge you. Who knows what I would have done in your shoes? Really? Well, that's something, I suppose. A whole city fell because of you. How is that possible? What do you mean, how? The knight glares at you from beneath his furrowed brows. If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask someone else. Like my little brother, Joran. And if you still don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1000th time, don't. So, you really don't have any friends. I couldn't have survived this long if I was completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fathers and the condemned console themselves for thinking, I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. Commander Tirabade seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise that she's the only one to hold on to her sense of reason in this farce. So you spent decades in the condemned. But you haven't paid your penance by now? That's not up for me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands. He falls silent for a moment, and then in a trembling voice he adds, "The condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I've prayed to Torag for forgiveness countless times. I've gone to his priest countless times. I've kneeled before his altar. If only the father of Dwarvenkind would answer my prayers just once, not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I'm still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't care about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own god doesn't think I deserve redemption?" Go on then. Maybe we'll see each other again. Now, I don't know if we're still going to have a frontline tank after this, so first let's make sure we talk to everyone that there is to talk to. Okay. Camellia looks you over pensively, toying with the snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. "Greetings." It seems for a moment that the girl wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long, and she slips back into cautious silence. "So, tell me about yourself." "You want to know more about me than you already do? Why?" Camellia arches a dainty brow. "I talk to the spirits of this tormented land and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient?" "Well, could you at least tell me where you learned to wield a rapier so well?" "I had good teachers. Although they don't get all the credit, I am a most diligent student." Camellia licks her parched lips. "Your amulet is quite unusual. Would you mind telling me where you got it?" "Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice, but I assure you this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things?" I was going to draw a parallel to relationships, but I couldn't find a good way to segue into it. Anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling me. I was trying to suppress a laugh at the idea of trying to connect what she said to relationships, but the spirits are calling me and I must respond. Please excuse me. Camellia turns away, watching you out of the corner of her eye.
Let us press on.
Oh, it's Mr. Germ. Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment and remember that Horgus. I was going to try and call him Germ, but I was already on the way to pronouncing his name properly. And he did pay the money, so I will do him the favor of pronouncing his name properly. Take your payment and remember that Horgus Worm always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the surface and I duly paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, Horgus looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'd pay generously for your services. What do you mean a job for someone like me? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze, and then lie down drunk in the gutter? Or do you think you're somehow different? A traveling knight, perhaps? Noble of heart, but without a coin to your name? I have 2,000 coins to my name now. Germ. Horgus sizes you up critically, then sighs and shrugs. You seem a reliable enough ally to me. And you did get me out of those mongrel caves, so why should I care what you do with my money once you got it? Succeeded at a perception check. Nice. WeArEuS seems like one of those people who think the entire world owes them something. However, you hear notes of hysteria beneath his smug arrogance. It's as though he's really quite nervous, but taking great pains to conceal it. Like, I can use all the money I can get. I have no idea why, but I'm certain that it's going to come in handy at some point. Well, that's terribly awkward. Anyway, so I would go with this option, but I at least want to see the details of the job before I call him Germ to his face. So what kind of reward are we talking about? 1,000 gold coins. I don't have diplomacy on me right now. She's over there. So if I try to go for this check right now, it'll surely fall through, and I probably won't get the opportunity to try again. And I've got my suspicions that choosing this would lock me out of being able to talk to him for this job again. And I don't think I can get out of the conversation without telling him I'm not interested, which isn't the case. I do want the money, but I mean, 1,000 gold coins. I am licking my chops over that. So what does this job involve? You shall be my bodyguard. You see, I have a good reason to return to my mansion here in it's Canabras. I remember in the previous episode, while people were talking and mentioning the name and pronouncing the name of the city, I was going over it in my head about how to keep the pronunciation straight rather than miss saying the name over and over again as if I can't learn. Anyway, I still have... well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in a wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked me, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside, one way or another. I shudder to imagine the state it's in now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Abadar knows what's happened there since. Only Abadar. Abadar, the god of cities, law, merchants, and wealth, also called the god of walls and ditches in the Eastern Dragon Empires, is known to be a patient deity. Maintaining a strong neutral stance in his actions, he strives to expand civilization and order among the peoples of Galarian. Therefore, I would ask that you meet me at my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. I really asked the local paladins for help, but they've no desire to set foot outside this tavern. Cowards and traitors, that's what they are. Also, please do take Camellia with you. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She is of noble birth, after all. I don't have diplomacy, and I don't want to tell him I'm not interested. And I don't think this will lock me out of being able to take him up on his offer again. So, for now, I've got other things to do. WeArEuS bores into you with his inquisitive eyes. Why do you refuse? You don't need the money? Perhaps it's not enough? Fine, I'll double the amount. Deal. Marvelous, excellent. WeArEuS' face relaxes, smoothing a few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry, unless you want me to lower your reward. And 144 XP, and I'm the only one that earned it.
I will not falter.
You had better not. It'd be terribly awkward for me to explain to people how that would be possible. Kennebrez still has some fight in it. We'll make those demons rue the day they came here. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Eagle Watch Crusader. Noble Survivor. Kyoto. I believe that help is already on the way. The Queen did not leave us to die. Visali Rathamus? A stout old man with a fuzzy gray beard mumbles a prayer. He looks as tired as everyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped upon his haggard face. What can I do for you? Why not show me the scrolls yourself? Well, I don't see a boy. They talking about this guy? Alright, who are you? I don't... Maybe I should go get something to drink, since I seem to be dropping words due to my parched throat. Visali Rathamus, rector of the local temple of Abadar. The temple is gone, though, and if we snooze here for much longer, the city will be lost as well. Who's that boy with you? This one? Kyoto the Shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy and his faith is strong. He serves a Rastil, though, but there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little older. So what kind of help can I expect from you? First, I sell scrolls. I have a lot of them, something for every emergency. Second, while you're here in the tavern, I can read one for you. Guaranteed, no surprises. But you'd better not go into the city without a cleric. I won't be going there myself. I'm too old and my powers are needed here. Alright, show me what you're selling. Blessed weapon. Actually, this would be huge when fighting demons with resistance. The weapon in your primary hand is treated as a... Okay, so if someone's dual wielding, this only affects the weapon in their primary hand. So, the weapon in their offhand, oh, we have a lot of stuff we really need to sell. Like, badly. I am so glad this man has infinite money. Oh, he is going to be making us one very, very wealthy kitsune. Forgot what we were for a moment. Okay, the weapon in your primary hand is treated as a magic weapon for the purpose of overcoming damage resistance. The weapon also becomes good aligned, which means it can overcome the damage resistance of certain evil creatures. In addition, all critical threats against evil foes automatically confirm. Wow, that alone is huge. So your crits don't even while this effect is on and you're attacking an evil alignment foe, your crits don't need to do a double check in order to land. Double check me. What I mean by that is, first you have to get the check. Well, you have to land the roll high enough to get the crit, and then it rolls again to see if you land just the boosted damage, or if it rolls, or if it hits even harder. So, yeah, I know I explained that a little poorly, but hopefully I was able to get the general idea across. You need to roll 2 checks in order to get a crit, and this makes it so you only need to roll the crit, which is actually pretty good. Does he have a Scroll of Identify? Please tell me you've got Scroll of Identify. I've got 3 items. No, 4. I think this one. Yeah, this one's fine. Wait, hold on. Oh, this is her glaive. Whenever this +1 glaive lands a hit on a new enemy for the first time, The target receives 1d6, so between 1 and 6 damage. Between 1 and 6 negative damage. Oh! And all other enemies in a 15-foot radius must pass a will saving throw of DC 17 at least, which means they need to roll between 18... No, they would have to roll between 17 and 20. Jeez. That's rough. That's rough, buddy. Or become frightened for 1 round. And I can do this whenever it hits a new enemy. So, if we're fighting a group and there's A, B, and C enemy, I can attack A enemy, frighten B and C, and I guess they don't do anything for their turns or they're inhibited in some way for the duration of that round. And then, once I kill that guy, I hit B, that counts again, and if it's successful, frighten C. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, wait, they're automatically identified later? What? This ring grants the wearer a +1 bonus on saving throws against spell with the code descriptor and adds +1 to the dice check for all saving throws against spells with code descriptor the wearer casts. I mean, it doesn't sound terribly useful right now, but I mean, we did kill that thing to get it. And it is worth 300, though I'm never going to sell it because, I mean, come on, it's a memento of our foolishness. Ring of Protection grants its wearer +1 deflection bonus to AC. Bonuses of the same type usually don't stack. Well, I know who that goes to. So I do like... So there's no scroll of identify because somehow the unidentified objects identify themselves. Creates a shield, an invisible shield of force that hovers in front of you. It negates missile attacks directed at you. How long does this last? 1 minute? The disc also provides a +4 shield bonus to armor class. It is armor. Yeah. Yeah. This bonus applies against incorporeal touch attacks. Since it is a force effect, the shield has no armor check penalty or arcane spell failure chance. Actually, that's pretty good. Interesting. And it's dirt cheap. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you guys here. I'm going to leave this in, but we're going to cut from here once I'm done explaining my objective. I'm going to sell everything that I can because we've got a lot of junk in here that's weighing us down. We're currently overloaded by 578, well, with 75 pounds. That's too much. So, I'm hoping to cut that down significantly so we can run again. Because I don't want to walk everywhere. That sucks. So, as soon as I'm done here, we'll meet again. Okay, I've lightened our load just a little bit. And of note is the fact that I have acquired, should be under usable, right? It's not here. Okay. So I bought, it was a chemistry set and, no, not chemistry set, an alchemy set, no, kit. An alchemy kit and a scribe kit? Maybe it's here. Here's the Alchemist kit. Allows me to create potions of level 1 spells, and pretty much the same thing for the Scroll Scriber's kit. I can create scrolls of level 1 spells. That's pretty cool. The others were more expensive. The ones for level 2 spells and, well, these for level 2 spells were 2,000. I guess we'll just call it gold. 2,000 gold each. I don't have that kind of cash on me right now. Also, they had, the guy sells scrolls of resurrection, but those are 6,000 each. Yeah, so we can't just go around dying willy-nilly. Let's just make that perfectly clear. Also, he can't equip the glaive, can he? No, that's a shame. Terrible, unfortunate, no good, shame. Actually, I can take this off of him. Alright. So let's see what else we've got going on here. Oh, Lan. Right. The other choice. Lan greets you with a nod. Here for a chat? I've been waiting for you to come and see what strange beast you've taken into your party. Frankly, I don't want to know anything more about him. So, tell me about your people. Of course, what would you like to know? You're the only member of the Neathholm tribe to call your people mongrels. Why is that? Because all of Galarian calls us that? I don't see the point of all this hemming and hawing over what we're called. Anyway, anyone who finds it offensive or takes issue with it can lead the charge against the name. No one's stopping them, but personally, I'm not going to pick a fight over something as unimportant as a name. Well, that's all I wanted to know. Bye. Who else do we have? Crusaders. Pink Eye. Yeah, I want to talk to this guy. Pink Eye. Indara. An imposing young Oread is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jiska legionnaires from the last war and the Crusaders. The perfect form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine. Not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Now tell me why I'm supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Some of the Crusaders grumble unhappily, but it's clear that they're captivated by the woman's words. The only exception is a scraggly and disheveled halfling monk whose puffy black eye gives him away as a brawler and troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. A good leader listens, so let's quietly listen to the discussion. Kennebrez Crusader. One of the Crusaders angrily curls his fist tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. If those gists of yours or whatever had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The Crusaders around him look upon their exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. Oh, wait. I might have missaid that because I didn't understand the visual she was going for. She's actually talking about an animal that's effectively a walking castle that happens to be shaped like a giant elephant. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries forged siege fortifications on its back. And I'll have you know these fortifications were defended by Jiskan, priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her hair with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who are you? I am Indara, a warrior, magus, and scholar of classical warfare from Garund. The woman peers at you apprehensively, then sighs. I admit that I am mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept that this is due to Avastan's isolation from the sophisticated culture of the world at large. So you've come a long way to be here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Galarian, and I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular. So why are you here? To witness a legendary war. The confrontation between denizens of a plane famous for its love of violence and the Crusaders from every continent united by the common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions that hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. The monk with the black eye grins and mutters under his breath. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. The woman smirks contemptuously. She does not deem the monk's words worthy of comment. I have to disagree. These guys have never fought demons before, but they are holding their own, some better than others. Oh yes, the situation we have found ourselves in can attest to that. But then again, demons are no better. Their preferred strategy also involves brute strength, mindless assault, and unfounded confidence in their superiority. An opportunity to change someone's mind? Although, allow me to state one thing. It said that she... Yeah, I'm certain that we're talking to that one. It said that she arranged her hair nonchalantly. I don't see any. She's as bald as the day is long. There's no hair. No hair up there. You're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I will be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Jiska. Very well. The last war of Jiska was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcements from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. What? You mean there was no preparation in a surprise attack? Say it ain't so. Compared to the Jiska, we are but stone club wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagon, an advisor to the Pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of his statement, but here it is nevertheless. A gadfly sees the ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but Crimson Fever takes them both. Now, what we do have, since diplomacy is not an option right now, we do have knowledge of the world. I don't think our knowledge of the world is anywhere near high enough for what I'm... Yeah, we've got +4. We've got diplomacy +9? We have a better chance at diplomacy than knowledge of the world. Huh. Some orator of the world we're turning out to be. But we do have diplomacy, so we can go with that. Yeah, I like this. The events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That is what you failed to grasp. And we succeeded. The earnestness of the faces of those around you has taken away Indara's panache, encouraging her to backtrack and stumble over words. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish the importance of current events. What I'm trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, and particularly the history of warfare... She falls silent, fixedly staring at the unfriendly eyes of her audience. The true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there's a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline, rooted in fact and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meager the farther the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Brimmerak by adding a dozen Baelors, for example, I could win this debate, but I'm above such things, and therefore I'm forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. I'm sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. Indara nods with obvious relief. I'm glad we both understand this limitation. It's always a pleasure to find a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy I should have kicked her out, ungrateful bastard. Perhaps especially because of that. But who knows, we may need her body to throw in front of some otherwise lethal attack that may take someone that is actually important. Who knows? Indara unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong, but also for the wise. And for not throwing her out, we also happen to acquire the Claw of Jiska. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. It's about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees the disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe. Well, I didn't expect that to go the way it did. I don't have anything... Well, I know who that is. I don't have anything to buff any of my stats before I go and talk to someone. At least nothing that doesn't have a limit of uses. Also, this should be 3. But everything else is still full. Right? Curious. should be 3, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, let's see if Pink Eye has something to say now.
We march ahead.
No, apparently not. So what does Sela have to say? Sela smiles at you warmly. Hey there! During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I shake your hand. Irabeth said your friend Jana Aldori is missing. Do you know where we should look for her? Irabeth is worried about her fighters. I understand that. I wanted to look for Jana myself, so I didn't distract you, but since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jana and I met in Kennebrez a few days ago and just hit it off. We went drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too, but we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking from the main square. That's where I last saw her. Sela frowns. Jana's a good fighter, even if she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope that means she's alright. So is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads, or at least a dozen, if they're lively ones? Sela's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me, but there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim, the war against the World Wound. That's why they can sometimes overlook smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always liked being a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, but I'll be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here and there. You know what? I appreciate that. I don't know if we'll get the opportunity to ask this again, but if you guys are interested, I'd be perfectly happy in trying to find another opportunity to have her answer this question. For now, though. Now, again, I say again, but I haven't actually brought this up. Yesterday, I'm recording this on said day, but yesterday, there were no videos. That's because I was trying to reset my sleep schedule. Hopefully I succeeded. I have my doubts though. And it wouldn't take very much for it to fall apart again. Anyway, I was trying to fix my sleep schedule, so I didn't actually go to sleep when I usually do, which is 4:30 in the morning. See, I go to sleep at 4:30, get up at 11, 12, between 11 and 1. And then I record, do all of the other business. And then I have the rest of the day to just fart around and hopefully make some better decisions than I did the day before. Unfortunately, my sleep schedule kind of gets screwed pretty easily thanks to Monday. I'm not going to go into why, but I end up staying up a lot longer than I usually do, which messes up my sleep schedule because I go to sleep much later. So I record later and it just feeds into me ending up recording really late at night, waking up really late in the day, and doing it over and over again unless I stay up and reset my sleep schedule. So I did that yesterday with the full intention of recording, only I could never actually find an opportunity, even though they were numerous. So I'm recording this today and uploading it in between. The other video is Animus Revenant, and this will be followed by me recording the Glenmurrow mod for Skyrim Special Edition. Now, those two, well, I don't know about Animus, but Skyrim will be an hour long, but this, as a sort of an apology for not uploading anything yesterday, is going to be 2 hours long, which means I would like to I'd like to move the story along a little further. I should probably have paused the timer so this doesn't count towards that. Anyway, this is going to be at least 2 hours long, possibly up to about 2.5 hours long. Sucks for me, but hopefully you guys enjoy it and appreciate it. Although to be perfectly honest, I'm also doing this because the guy I also watch playing this game is catching up to where I am. Well, has caught up and probably surpassed it by now, since I only record this 3 times a week. So I might have to start making these longer, just at a base level of like maybe an hour and a half, and see if you guys are okay with that. Because I'm perfectly happy recording as much of this as you guys are willing to tolerate per upload. So, let's get out of here and see who else there is to talk to. We've spoken to everyone who's currently in our group, and this is Irabeth. I want to make sure I talk to everyone I can and buy as many supplies as I am able. Wow, the guy had a lot of scrolls, and I mean a lot of scrolls, like so too many scrolls, frankly. He didn't have anything I could see value in immediately. Although there were some, frankly, obvious choices. This, I just don't need this. I wish I could convert this to heal light wounds, but whatever. So, I got, what did we get? Scrolls of Summon Monster. They were cheap, so why not? I got, what else? What else did I get? Oh, right. This one, Scroll of Mirror Image, because who knows when I'm going to need someone to not take any damage. I also got Scroll of Create Pit, which is frankly pretty detailed. It basically creates an extra dimensional hole with sloped edges, so any enemy on the edges of it, or that find themselves on the edges of it, have to make a reflex save in order to avoid falling in. That's really cool. But even better, they don't get to make that save. They don't even get an attempt to make that save if they're knocked in or if they're pushed into it using an ability like Bull Rush or something, anything that throws them backwards. Can you see where I'm going with this? So I'm planning to make use of this. It was pretty expensive though, so that's going to be something that needs to be dealt with, but it's not that expensive. It was 150 gold, so not that difficult. But anyway, so I'm planning to use this only in really big, difficult fights where there are a lot of enemies and I need there to be fewer of them. I don't know how attacking anyone in the hole works, but we're going to find out. Because I can tell you right now, this is going to see use. Did I get anything else? Nothing aside from the Scroll of Shield, I don't think. Now that seems to be about it. Like I said, he had a lot of useful ones, but only things like Create Pit and... Actually, I should have gotten some of those. I really should have gotten some of those for the to imbue weapons with. Yeah, this one. We've got enough money. I'm not worried about that. That's going to come in handy. Especially for... I don't know if it'll actually work on bows. I'm going to have to keep that in mind.
I will guide us.
So let's see what's going on in here and if there's anything we can buy. There aren't any named character. Here we go. Journal. A young man in well-worn traveling clothes and a simple wooden symbol of Aristil on his chest, is efficiently cutting a linen robe into strips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm chestnut-colored eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us whose talents lie off the battlefield. I'm Jerna, servant of Erastil. Pleased to meet you. Well, we know what he's doing. So, are you from around here? No, I was just passing through Kenabres. I was sailing down that old man of ours, the Great Selin River, to a village by the name of Chili Creek. I happened to land in the city on the eve of the festival, and I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day to enjoy myself. But I ended up staying in the city longer than I'd bargained for. Chili Creek? Where is that? It's a small fishing village. It's not even marked on some maps, but people do live there. What they don't have is a priest. They have no one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayers for a good catch, no one to give their dead a dignified burial. And the world wound is a stone's throw away, so I'll be setting sail for Chili Creek to serve my god and my people. Once we've held Kenabres, I'll be going there. If, by the grace of the good gods, we all survive this, you should come and visit me sometime. You'll find the village here on the bank of the river. The priest marks Chili Creek on your map. I mean, I could use a dedicated healer, so that way I wouldn't have to have him doing that. Let's at least see if he'll agree, though he does have his own objective, so I couldn't blame him if he says. Jerna makes a helpless gesture. Erastil knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted and I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to last one. Alright. I've got to go. May Erastil watch over you. Foreign autumn haze. Well, loot first, talking last. Notice I didn't say talking second. That was accidental, but I'll let it ride. A tall, fragile-looking elf sits in front of you, eyes closed. He's pale as a ghost, his arm wrapped in blood-stained bandage. You spot other bandages on his body under his clothes. But even in such a miserable state, he manages to keep calm. Raising his eyes to meet yours, he says faintly, I am Fane Autumn Haze, at your service. His pale lips are reddened by blood, but you see no signs of pain or fear in his gray eyes. Are you okay, buddy? After giving you a cold, intense look, he shakes his head. Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer tended to me. Besides, I come from a resilient, hardy people. My body will endure both the wounds and the poison delivered through them. So who wounded you? I don't think we have the ability, I don't think we have any sort of check that might be able to help him. I mean, we can't talk wounds closed yet. So at least let's find out who wounded him. A sinner and accomplice to demons. The quarry I am hunting in this inhospitable place. Fascinating, if not lacking in any significant amount of detail. But you can trust me, I might be able to help you. After a brief pause, Foreign says, it would be impolite to refuse such a direct and friendly offer. So who is your quarry here in Mendev? I was hunting a fugitive, a Descarite by the name of Kalesa. It pains me to admit that There are heinous malefactors such as her among my noble kind. I managed to catch up to her here in Kennebres, and I wounded her. Then demons appeared and the city was engulfed in flames. I was injured in the battle that ensued and couldn't free her soul from its service to our dark masters. He expresses no anger or hatred as he speaks, only compassionate sorrow. I'm sorry for your misfortune, and I hope things turn out differently next time. He purses his lips. There is no need for pity. Our ancient kind is blessed with great longevity. We gain a deeper understanding of the world than other races, and we learn our lessons better than anyone. It goes for learning from our mistakes as well. I survived, which means I'll be more prepared when next we meet. Hey, would you mind if I helped you? Thorn covers his eyes wearily. Thank you, but this is my mission, and I'm used to facing all manners of terrors on my own. I do appreciate your willingness to help. If you happen to meet Kaylessa, take caution. She has turned many innocent souls to the path of evil, and darkness has rewarded her with many gifts. Her appearance alone will tell you that. It is warped. The agate skin, the malicious stare of her blood-red eyes, bestial teeth. She's more monster than elf at this point. This is probably not going to work. But I have to ask, what does Kaylessa look like again? Failed. Dang it. Her skin is dark, her hair preternaturally white. Her red eyes can see perfectly in the dark, which, to my dismay, I've come to know from experience. But bright light causes her kind pain. I used an alchemical powder that explodes in a dazzling flash, and she cried out as if I had stabbed her. It's clear that this woman is a faithful servant of darkness. The marks that Kaylessa's masters have left on her appearance say as much. I wonder what secrets we would have revealed had we passed that check. So this goes down to the basement. Why not? The frick? I mean, don't mind if I do. Yoink yoink. What's up? Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Haha, got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove 'em, tiefling. Whoa, easy there, Chief. Don't hit me. So we've got a tiefling in prison. I would say that's not very surprising, but I don't know enough about tieflings to make such a statement. I mean, it's light, but not even worth taking. And what is this? Whoa. Well, we don't want to touch that just yet. First, we rob this place blind. Thankfully, I don't have to select each and every barrel individually. That leads outside. What's up with these switches, though? Well, let's talk to this miserable guy.
Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljith, or I'll knock your teeth out.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. but no one told me I had to shut my trap.
So, who are you?
WolJif Jefto. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
The tiefling rattles his chains and gives you a meaningful look. So what do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations? No problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff! If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
I mean, he's got a point.
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
So, care to explain why you're in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
It's terribly dumb.
He was caught thieving.
I'm not surprised. First off, your shadow. What was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
I could really use a dedicated healer instead. But I mean, a merchant. That might also be useful. Can't conceive of a way to keep the guy alive in combat, though. Since we only barely manage with Sela. Okay, so I can't help you and you can't help me while you're chained up. How do you expect me to help you?
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy WolJif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do it?
I need to think about it.
Think fast. I'm already losing feeling in my legs sitting here.
I don't know. I have to say, though, in his defense, if he were truly that awful of a person, he would have just killed everyone that tried to actually imprison him. So, I mean, he might just be a troublemaker, but not actually, I don't want to say, but not actually dangerous, but maybe he's just got impulse problems. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, at the very least, I'll consider helping you and talking to Arabeth.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
You see, saying things like that isn't doing you any favors. because it sounds an awful lot like you said you knew a mark when you saw one. Not fond of that. Anyway. Ooh, it is getting really hard to see. Wish the sun would take a break. So what does this do? There are apparently 3 of these switches. Let's see.
Let us press on.
So is it a matter of the positions of the switches? I actually don't want to click on that door though.
Together we stand.
So we'll hold off on that for now. See what else we can get into here. These people I talked to. Oh, personal chest. I had missed that last time. Ooh, wow. Head chomper. Wait, is our knowledge of the world not the one we invested in? I don't remember now. Anyway, summons a pattern. Okay, yeah. So I made a mistake there and I mixed up pet and cat. So that's what happened there. Summons a pet owl cat. Owl cat's feral instincts provide morale bonus on perception and lore nature checks. You know what? Why the frick not? Go ahead and put that owl in my pocket. Acquired this while exploring the Great Garrison. And I only vaguely remember what these do. You have received the item amulet that no one in your party was able to identify. To learn the properties of a magic item, you need to identify it. Once the item is added to your inventory, the character with the highest Arcana knowledge skill bonus will make a knowledge check with a difficulty class that depends on the specific item. If the check is successful, you immediately learn every magical property item has. If the check is failed, you can automatically identify the item at any vendor. Upon increasing their knowledge of the Arcana skill bonus, the character will make another attempt at identifying all unidentified items in your inventory. Okay, I wish it hadn't done that. Develop the knowledge of Arcana skill to make use of identified items as soon as possible. In the worst case scenario, you'll have to wait until your next encounter with a vendor. I sure wish that had come up when I first found the very first unidentified item. I don't know
We march ahead.
would have, let's see, Arcana. There it is. His is absolutely nothing. Hers is absolutely nothing. Naturally, hers is nothing, and his is nothing. God dang it. Well, that explains a lot, actually. I am not happy about that. I need someone with knowledge of the Arcana, and Woljif is starting to look real good for that. More accessories. Grant competence on saving throws against movement impairing conditions. Persuasion skill checks. And the other one was the owl, which I think is under usable. Yeah. Could sell it though. but I think it would be of greater value to me in the long term, you know? Let's make sure we haven't missed anything. There's a Nevia again. A Nevia in her muted colors, quite honestly, blends almost perfectly into the background. She appears relaxed, but her seemingly unfocused eyes are taking in everything around her, tracking and filtering potential threats. The only tell is the way she drums her fingers on her hip near her weapon sheath. She shows no signs of her injuries and confidently leans on her previously broken leg. She pretends to have just noticed you, even though she watched you approach from afar. Oh, hey! See how they patched me up? Now I can run, jump, or dance a jig if I feel like it. Are there any suspicious places in the city I should pay attention to? There were a couple spots I wanted to check out, but I didn't have time. If there really is a den of cultists there, it would be good if you could swoop in there and bust some heads. You don't even need a search warrant. And Nevia shoots you a crooked smile. First one is the Silken Thread. It's a funny little tailor shop that doesn't take any orders and never buys any fabric, but they always seem oh so busy. They're busy in there with something alright, but sewing it ain't. Second one is the alchemy shop, Topaz Solutions. They trade in everything, not just healing potions. And judging by the ingredients they've been buying on the black market, there's something fishy about the alchemical rituals going down in that place. Thanks. It's always good to have a source for new wares, or new loot, that's what I wanted to say. Now let me sell... What did we just get? Some armor? This one. Wow. Not even worth the taking. Not even worth it. At all. Did we get any... I'm keeping that. Probably get rid of that. Oops. Go ahead and give me that 2 gold, and I shall be on my way. But to where? I actually should really... Gemil Hawks. It's probably Gemil. Gamil? I like Gamil. Gamil Hawks. A strange figure towers over the bar. A huge, ungainly man with skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible even from a distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes stare impassively out at you from beneath his pale brows. The glass in the albino's large, clumsy hands look dangerously delicate, as if one twitch of those calloused fingers would be enough to crush it. A gold medallion engraved with a tankard gleams around his neck. What'll it be? Show me what you have. Oh yes, yes. Wait, how much would they be all together? 1,700? Could afford that. Have that, so... Let's just go within... That'd be 14. Potion of Feather Step. Wow, that is not cheap. Gloves of the Neophyte. Whenever the wearer of these gloves casts a cantrip or a first level spell, that spell deals 1 additional point of damage per die rolled. Huh, cool. Dark Omen. If the wearer of this ring has the ability to cast spells spontaneously, it grants them the ability to cast the following spells: Ray of Feeblement, Scare, Ray of Exhaustion, Fear, and Waves of Fatigue. To cast a spell, the wearer still needs to have a spell slot of the required level. Interesting. It's 13,000. The bag of holding opens into a non-dimensional space. Its inside is way larger than its outside. Regardless of what is put into the bag, its weight doesn't change. This allows the party to carry an additional 100 pounds of weight without suffering get into my pockets. I wasn't going to get it at first, but the price is 100 extra pounds of weight. That's huge. Wow, these are really expensive. I guess the scrolls were less expensive because there was a chance to fail to cast them. You can come along with me. Ooh. You can throw a flask of holy water as a splash weapon with the range increment of 10 feet. A direct hit deals 2 to 8 points of holy damage to an undead creature or an evil outsider. Each such creature within 5 feet of the point where the flask hit takes 1 point of holy damage from the splash. Okay. Alright. Places of interest. Are there any places in the city worth visiting? If you mean places that normal people usually stay well away from, then there are plenty. Like the Pitaxian wine cellar. Give me a pauses for effects. Like the name of the place alone should make you quiver in fear. It once belonged to a Pitaxian trading house. Then King Iravetti came to power in Pitax and property started changing hands. Soon after, the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of him, mind, just his head. Numerian gangsters had taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up on the gallows. Then King Iravetti's number was up. So now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say that a headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulishly. Oh. After coming to this end of this story, unusually long by his standards, the tavern keeper takes a swig from his tankard. And just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. I wasn't there. I just tell it like I heard it. Do you have any more news for me? The tavern keeper sees you off with a subtle twitch of his pale eyebrows. Okay. And this is for the spicy pastry that we bought the recipe for. You have found a new recipe, spicy pastry. To learn it, right-click it in your inventory and choose the Memorize option. Different recipes require different ingredients, and dishes cooked using them grant unique bonuses. Nice. Okay, so first things first, let's use some of the stuff in our inventory. Great. Hold on. Summons a pet owl cat. Beware, Head Chomper, the almighty owl kitten. Owl kittens are rumored to steal the hearts of their masters, and this one surely mastered this ability. Yet his presence in your life compensates any inconveniences he might cause. Oh, okay, I see. I thought it was a literal owl, and now I realize it said owl cat, and yeah. So its appearance makes sense, although I can't use the goddamn thing. From my inventory, at least. Okay. And let's see. We have accessories to meet out. So, grants us wear a +1 natural armor enchantment. So I wouldn't be able to Enhancement bonus to armor class. Competence bonus to persuasion skill checks. I mean, he's got the highest persuasion of everyone in the group. Yeah. So he may as well take that. Great. Okay. Perfectly fine. Don't mind me, just some movement impairing conditions. That'd probably be best for her. Deflection bonuses. Yeah, sure, why not? And this one. Sure, why not? Then again, nah, let's keep that on her. The harder it is for anyone to hurt her, the better. We do have another cold iron weapon. That should be better. No. Yep, better than that one. Good stuff. And it's a masterwork. But this is cold iron, so we have to keep it. I guess I could put some of these other weapons away since I don't actually intend to use them. So, let's focus on weapons. Club. Claw of Jiska, right? Wow. 3 to 13 damage. It's a short sword. It's a +1 flaming short sword. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you should be very nice to the poor woman who lost the debate. And I genuinely have nothing that can help you win it, though of course you saw what I did. So if you have someone with stats like mine, you should at least go for it. Heck, even if you don't have the stats, go for it, because that's actually pretty freaking good. 3 to 13 damage, and I have to crit with it. I would only need to roll a 19 or a 20, 20 being the obvious one. Wow, that is actually really nice. I mean, it's not cold iron, which sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. Someone's got to be able to make use of that. Okay, so let's get rid of these that aren't cold iron. Long sword. Keep that, get rid of that. That, actually I want that with me. That and that. Extra armor. Crypt Raider's armor. Gives an insight bonus to armor class against undead. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and keep that then. Put that stuff away. Keep our accessories. Okay, I probably cut all of that out, but, well, I might. Let's just say, the Claw of Jiska, that's a really good sword. Like, Yeah, she should be able to. And it's much better than that. Oh yeah, let's just go. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. God, I wish he could get... I really wish he could equip swords. Maybe we'll be able to find a flaming throwable weapon. He said with doubt in his heart. Actually, I should have gotten rid of the Bardish too. Hold on.
Our path leads on.
Our path leads on. Bardish. We'll keep the bows. And I think that's it. I'll keep the throwing weapon too. Why the frick not? Here. I don't know how this will work, so let's quick save first. Now what? Weird. I'm going to go ahead and look that up. Look up how to use the Owlcat. I guess it's in effect right now? Right, we said we were going to talk to her about a guy. A guy named Woljif, if I'm not mistaken. Who is Helor? A tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely gray and shorn close to his head in a military style. He is lean and well-groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attest that there's a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greetings. I'm Helor, venture captain of the Pathfinder Society. I'm the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendev. However, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone without the support of the Society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, talk to me. What can you tell me about the your time going up against the Spinner of Nightmares? It all began with the task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Nerosian with my team to investigate the sudden death of a famous crusader, Baron Falron. We soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, where Falron was being treated shortly before his death. It turned out that a gang of Baphomet's cultists, calling themselves the Labyrinth of Mind, had gotten a foothold at the hospital. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims and targeted fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal, but the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed into servants of Baphomet. Servants of Baphomet, ready to lie, betray, and even kill. The Labyrinth of Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the elite circles in Mendev, but Baron Falron stopped them. He was too loyal to his oath and too resistant to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. We opened and cleaned the city of Baphomet's pit of vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from their minds into the world. They dreamt of horrible, forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could, but the leaders of the cult were able to flee. And they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter Lori, who served under my command at the Pathfinder Society. Left me a note full of tart insults, mockery, and sneers. From that note I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later, I confirmed that she was the leader of the Labyrinth Mind. If my hunt had begun, I would get Lori back at any cost. Hero grits his teeth with bulldog determination. Oh my god, that voice is not okay for me to do. Can't do that again, not for that long. I could use some good training. I don't know if I'd actually get XP if we haven't spent our points from level up yet. Not sure at all. I will get a great mentor from Absalom. For the first few times, he'll train your fighters free of charge. Does it mean retrain? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and talk to Irabeth. Irabeth rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How's the city? How is the city? So, it's cool. It's still out there. There's a tiefling chained up in the Defender's Heart. What can you tell me about him? Irabeth shrugs scornfully. Woljif is a petty thief from a gang of thieflings operating in Canabras. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them and the rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from the Defender's Heart, but that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? Irabeth squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off our guards' hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful should you decide to take him along. Thanks. Go. May Iomade keep you safe. Also, I'm just going to go ahead and touch this book. Why is there a book about Helor and the Spinner of Nightmares? Book the first of the astonishing exploits of Venture Captain Helor, published by the Pathfinder Society. Going to go ahead and just take that. Okay, let's find out what actually happens when we supposedly have them retrained. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so that literally allows me to entirely remake a character, not just retrain them. Not really interested in that. At least not right now. So, we have spoken to everyone that there is to speak to in the... Oh, right. Woljif. Not a real fan of someone that I don't feel like I can trust, you know? That's the reason why we didn't keep What's-Her-Face, Wenduog. Okie doke.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I talked to Irabeth and I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
Probably. But if I can catch him, I'll just kill him and get my stuff back.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
If I say no, can we end this conversation?
Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
Oh my. We're going to be very, very busy for the next few episodes, aren't we? I mean, depending on how much we can get done in each one. We'll be starting with this episode. We've got at least another 30 minutes to go. Let's see what else there is in here. Naturally, there isn't going to be anything because it's a makeshift prison cell. Also, so he's got all of his points spent already. I don't have any weapons for him to use. Does he even have the necessary skills to dual wield without being punished for it? He's a tiefling, danger sense, need feats, weapon finesse. With a light weapon, elven blade, curving blade, estoc, or rapier made for a creature of your size category, you may use your dexterity modifier, his being 5, instead of your strength modifier on attack rolls. Cool. 2 weapon fighting. Your penalties on attack rolls for fighting with two-handed weapons are reduced. Normally, if you wield a second weapon in your offhand, you get 1 extra attack per round with that weapon. When fighting in this way, you suffer a -6 penalty on your regular attacks, or attacks with your primary hand, and a -10 penalty. So, with this version of 2-weapon fighting, rather than the level 2 or mythic, no idea what those will provide, you're only suffering a -4 penalty for both hands. That's still rather significant. Like, never touch anything significant. If your offhand weapon is light, the penalties are reduced by 2 each. That's interesting. So it's basically only -2 for each then. Interesting. Interesting. So he's only got a -2 penalty for each hand. Also, his resistances are kind of... Well, this isn't active, so he'd actually have to turn this on. But that's... Wow. Naturally, he's got pickpocket. Callistria. That's who he serves, right? Yeah, goddess of lust and revenge. Double slice. Your offhand weapon while dual wielding strikes with greater power. Add your strength bonus, of which he has 0, to damage rolls. I guess that wouldn't really matter with weapon finesse. Right? Yeah, it said to... It says it only uses your dex modifier on attack rolls. Would that count for double slice? Since it says it uses your strength bonus for damage rolls, not attack rolls. Or is damage rolls covered by attack rolls? Does anyone know? I'm sure someone does. Anyway, normally you add only half of your strength modifier to damage rolls made with a weapon wielded in your offhand. Oh, he can craft scrolls during camping too. Fascinating. Okay. As a matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and deal with these guys' level ups. That way we can go ahead and not have to worry about that at the very least. So I'm going to see you guys once I figure out what's going to happen next, as far as their levels are concerned. See you soon. Okay. That took a lot longer than I expected. Man, leveling up characters in a game like this is an ordeal. But what we have acquired was worth it. Alignment restriction. A druid who changes to a prohibited alignment loses all spells and druid abilities. Cannot gain levels as a druid until they return to a permitted alignment. Okay. Anyway. So, what I picked up this time around was the precise shot. Now I don't get the -4 penalty on attacks against enemies that are in melee combat, which is going to be pretty good. Pretty freaking good. Considering that point blank shot was also giving me a attack penalty on attack rolls by -1. I forgot that. So with that active, it was even less likely that we would land the shot, but we would do more damage if the shot was successful. Now, we acquired some extra abilities. Well, magic, I should say. But they don't show on here. As a matter of fact, we can go here. Now, this is all that we have. Well, these are our level 2 spells. These are all of our level 1s. I actually need to get these level 2s set up. So... Ooh. I can grant someone resistance to energy. Either acid, cold, electricity, fire, or sonic. And they resist... They gain resist energy 10 against the chosen type. So when they're subjected to the aforementioned damage, they take 10 less points of that damage before whatever else remains is applied to their hit points. I also learned that hit die is basically immediately equivalent to to the character's level. So that's good to know, because there are certain spells I have that are reliant upon the target having a certain number of hit die or less. Resist energy absorbs only damage. The subject could still suffer unfortunate side effects. And it does not stack with protection from energy. If a character is warded by protection from energy and resist energy, the protection spell absorbs damage until its power is exhausted. Okay. But this is actually, I think this is actually better. I think this is actually better than protection from energy. Because this is a flat damage reduction for 10 minutes. That's actually pretty good. It's pretty freaking good, actually. Now, we also acquired Animal Aspect, which allows me to gain beneficial qualities of certain animals. I can get Gorilla, which allows me to gain a competence bonus to combat maneuver bonuses. I also have Monkey, which increases my competence bonus on athletic checks and allows me to throw objects as if I had throw anything, or the throw anything feat. The Raccoon aspect would allow me to have a +2 competence on trickery and stealth checks, and for Raptor, my legs become built for running speed and I gain an enhancement of 20 feet to my base speed. I can't really think of any case uses for that, since none of this actually transfers to, or relates to being able to, well, being more accurate with throwing weapons, but I'll figure something out. Now, we also have Aspect of the Bear. I'm pretty sure this I actually had before. With it, I gain natural armor, a +2 enhancement bonus to natural armor. So if I had the necklace that gave me the +1, the necklace would probably be rendered redundant and probably not work. And I gain an enhancement bonus of +2 to combat bonus rolls, or combat maneuver bonus rolls. And I can perform Bull Rush. So we've got synergy right there with the, what is it called? The Pit Trap? The one that creates an extra dimensional pit. Bark Skin we had, Bear's Endurance, Bull's Strength, and Cat's Grace I'm pretty sure we had. Now Delay Poison I know is new, because I actually read it. This allows anyone, well, an ally to become temporarily immune to poison for 1 hour, during which they can't be affected by it or damaged by it if they are already affected by poison. We have Frigid Touch, which allows me to deal 4 to 24 points of cold damage and causes the target to be stunned for 1 round. And if the attack crits, they're staggered for a minute instead. I also have Hold Animal, which, as you would expect, probably only works on animals. Regardless, it paralyzes and freezes the subject in place. I can also reduce someone's resistance to poison. Now, that works in combination with Sickening Entanglement, which I don't know its actual range, a 40-foot burst. So, in a range of 40 feet from the point of casting, well, no, from the target area, it summons vines covered in an irritating sap, and it causes targets to be sickened as long as they remain in the area. I like it. I really do. We also received Stone Call, causing a rain of dirt and gravel and small pebbles to fill an area, dealing 2 to 12 points of bludgeoning damage to every creature in the area only once. For the duration of the spell, only 1 round thereafter. Well, 1 round per level thereafter, so up to 3 rounds right now. This debris covers the ground, making the entire area difficult terrain, so anyone that tries to walk through it will have their movement range severely reduced. We also have Summon Nature's Ally 2, and it summons to my side a natural giant frog, or 1 to 3 natural mites, and they appear where I designate, and I have no control over them whatsoever. That is pretty good. Having more allies, especially, well, this is probably a limited case use, but that's fine. Which ones? As I said, with Animal Aspect, I mean, I could see some rare cases where it might be useful, but something like... Oh yeah, no, everything that's in this list is brand new. Natural rhythm. Each time, right, we also got this, and every time we attack with a natural weapon, which is a bite, claw, or wing, I think fist too. Each consecutive hit against the same opponent deals extra damage equal to the number of previous consecutive hits. And the damage this allows you to do is multiplied on crit. So, I mean, it sounds good, but I don't actually do a natural attack. Now, if we had an animal, that'd be a different story, but... Now, keep in mind, I'm not timing the video for any of this, so if the video ends up going... If video ends up being 3 hours long, so be it. But right now, the timer stopped and it's just shy of 2 hours. But I want you guys to understand what we have, so you're not wondering where I'm pulling this mad... Actually, I want to add this now that I think about it. We definitely won't resist energy. And why not sickening entanglement? Because actually that doesn't go there. What about... No, I can't even have nice things. Right. And we also, most importantly of all, we also have the ability to summon a small fire, water, air, or earth elemental, which we, again, cannot control, but that doesn't really matter. Given however many opportunities we'll have to cast it, we have that many extra allies. And this would stack, I would assume. I need resist energy, though. That's going to be huge. I don't think we gained any more level 1. Any more level 1 magic. Or spells, I should say. We still have Entangle. Well, I wish I had taken care of this before, because now I'm all distracted thinking about all of the details. Fairy Fire. I'm only going to switch Fairy Fire in. It allows me to reveal enemies that are stealth in an area. I'm only going to use that, or swap that in later, when we start encountering enemies that are invisible. Okay. Oh, right. We also acquired Restoration Lesser. This would have been huge in the fight again. Well, I mean, it would have been good to have, but only in that I wouldn't have had to sleep as long to get rid of the effect. But then again, these are limited use most likely, so there's also that. Regardless, Lesser Restoration allows me to restore temporarily reduced abilities. Like, remember the demons after what's her name was killed by WeArEuS, and the winged demons came in and they started reducing our ability scores with their attacks. Yeah, so this would allow me to undo the damage that they would inflict like that. And it doesn't seem to matter what ability is damaged or what ability score is damaged. It'll work on any of them. Now, I didn't read this one, but you inflict a painful itching rash on the target creature, and it's sickened and takes -4 penalty to dexterity. But this penalty can't lower the dexterity below 0, which is kind of unfortunate. Because, again, decreasing a character's or creature's ability score, any ability score below 0, kills it. Which I find fascinating, and I wish and I wonder if there was a class or a way you could build a class to take advantage of that. Granted, there are enemies that resist ability score damage, but I mean, having someone built around the ability to, well, not instantly kill, but just, well, again, it's not an instant death. It takes time to stack up that damage. But it would just feel great to be able to do that to something. I think we're all set because I really do want extra enemies or extra allies on the field, especially when we're outnumbered. I want this, but again, I don't know what Sickened actually does as an effect, what stats it might affect. Oh, so it reduces their dexterity. I mean, it sounds really good. Anyway, right, I got lost in the sauce. So, wrong thing. For this guy, he actually had a number of good things unlocked with his level up. He gained Key Power, extra attack, by spending a point from his key pool, which was unlocked with his 3rd level. He can make an additional unarmed attack at his highest attack bonus when making a flurry of blows attack. A Zen archer cannot use rapid shot or many shot when making flurry of blows with his bow. He may not make a flurry of blows attack with his unarmed attacks or any other weapons. Okay, anyway. So, we gained that, and what else? We gained weapon proficiency, which increases our attack rolls with longbows. Unfortunately, he currently has a composite bow equipped. Because, well, I like the name. Composite bow. Sounds cool. Anyway, we do have a longbow. I'm pretty sure it's Master... What's it? Masterwork, that's the name. He didn't really gain that much interesting stuff, though. He had precise shot before. His weapon focus is now the longbow. No, the weapon focus is what we got this time. He also got this, Point Blank Master, which allows him to not provoke attacks of opportunity when looking someone in the face and shooting them with a bow. But honestly, I'm probably not going to have him using a bow if someone is able to walk up to him. Instead, I'm going to have him switch to unarmed and then just beat them in the face. But he really didn't get that much interesting stuff. So, and on his 4th level, I mean, he gets a key power, but you know, it's really bare in here. Regardless, that's all that there was for him. For her, it was also really sparse. Like, there was nothing. Now, we are going to be dealing with the ghosts sooner or later, and this is going to come in handy, but this is only for hers. This will only affect her weapons, so she'd end up being our sole damage dealer in that case. She got weapon focus for rapiers, and that's pretty much it this time around. Yeah, she's got no goddamn traits whatsoever. Yeah, she didn't really get much, but she did get level 2 spells. Now, instead, we're going to get that, and protection from alignment, which allows all enemies within 30 feet to gain a deflection bonus to armor class, and +2 resistance on saves. Well, +2 resistance bonus on saves. and they apply against attacks and effects resulting from creatures with corresponding alignments. And I'm assuming it allows you to choose the alignment, which is going to be really useful against demons. Just saying. This is one I saw my throat is so goddamn dry. This is one I saw a scroll for, and I was looking at it, and while it sounded good, I didn't want to pay money for it. I'm a stingy bastard, what can I say? We also got the bag of holding. I don't know if that actually went into effect automatically or if we need to activate that. I need to go check. Anyway, this allows me to grant myself a limited ability to avoid death. While the spell is in effect, I gain temporary hit points equal to 1 to 10 plus 1 per caster level. So it'd be between 1 and 10 and then an additional 3 on top of that. I mean, it sounds good, but I like remove paralysis. Ooh, and being able to summon. Well, I can always swap lesser restoration in after we've taken the ability score damage, and then just use it from there. So I'm not going to put that on now. I do like hold person. And that's not going to go there. Cure moderate wounds. Hold on. Freck. Sickening entanglement was actually sounding really good. We'll have to go with that. Of course, I could just swap that in after we run out of potions, but having it instead of the potions is probably better. Alright, this also grants a morale bonus on attack rolls and saves against fear effects. Plus, it gives a temporary hit point equal to 1 between 1 and 8, plus the caster's level, which is currently 3. I like that. That morale bonus for attack rolls would counter... I forget the name of the feat, but I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, so remove paralysis. I don't want to get stuck in this menu again. What does Bane do again? Fills them with fear and doubt, and they take a penalty on attack rolls. And it lasts only a minute. And I think each turn in a battle lasts 6 seconds, I think they said. Subject gains deflection bonus to armor class and resistance on bonus saves against attacks and effects resulting from the corresponding alignment. And this only lasts a minute as well. I'd actually prefer Bless, which would actually work. Spirit magic and large person. Bonus to strength. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, so that's what we got for her. Then there's Seela, who got pretty much nothing. Like, her growth is just awful. This is actually the worst thing I've ever... Well, it looks like she should have gotten a lot, but she got nothing. Like she's hardly different than she was when we first started using her, or when she first joined us. Look, I'll show you. She got, let's see, for lay on hands, as a result of her 3rd level, she gained the ability to apply mercies through her lay on hands effects when they're used on other people. I don't know if it works on lay on hands for herself, but when she uses it on others, she also now, thanks to this choice, she also applies the mercy fatigued. So when she uses her lay on hands to heal, the target is no longer affected by fatigued. Oh, but I will say this. It felt like she got absolutely nothing, but what she did get feels like it's going to be massive in value later. Let me show you. Aura of Courage. At the 3rd level, a paladin is immune to fear. Each ally within 10 feet gains a +4 morale bonus on saving throws against fear effects. And of course, it only actually works while, she's conscious. So, immune to fear is huge. But it didn't stop there. She is also immune to all diseases, including supernatural and magical diseases, including whatever the frick mummy rot is. Huge. Eventually. Right now, it's a big bundle of nothing. I gave her mounted combat because I want her to fight on a horse. You can't blame me for this. You can't take this from me. You can't change my mind on this. I want to do it for the cool. It's going to be terribly inconvenient to have a character slot taken up by a character I don't really want, like a horse, but having her ride, it would be awesome if when she's riding it, they only take up one character slot. And during that time, they're just one character. Oh, and of course, she has no traits because, she's got this absolutely boring class. I mean, the immunities, that's just great stuff. Totally not, awful. But it feels bad because it's like she has nothing right now. She's got no new abilities whatsoever. This is an additional effect on top of her original abilities. So she's got nothing this time. Oh, no, that's something else. Yeah, so she's got nothing. It feels bad. But that's just me. So that's what our party is looking like right now. I don't know what we're going to do for the 5th one. I'm, again, looking to get her a horse. And because her next level is the least awful so far, at least I hope. Yeah, that's looking pretty bad, actually. On the 5th one is when I'm intending to actually get her horse. But as you can see, that's pretty far from now. Then again, it's only actually, 3,200, something, slightly under 3,200 XP. It's not as bad as it seems. But come on. This is really bad. She literally, it sucks because it just feels like she literally only stands there. Wait. He also does have spells, I'm sure. Magic Missile. Color Spray. Well, hold on. This actually... interesting. A vivid cone of clashing colors springs forth from your hand, causing creatures to become stunned, perhaps also blinded and possibly knocking them prone. Each creature within the cone is affected according to its hit die. With 2 or less, the creature is blinded, stunned, and knocked prone for 2 to 8 rounds. Then it's blinded and stunned for 1 to 4 rounds, and then stunned for 1 round. Only living creatures are knocked prone. I don't know why you couldn't knock a skeleton prone. Skeletons can be embarrassed, right? Anyway, creatures with 3 or 4 hit die can only be blinded and stunned for 1 to 4 rounds, then stunned for 1 round. With 5 or more hit die, the creature is stunned for 1 round. Sightless creatures naturally can't be affected. Oh, yes, he has grease. I remember now. I also picked up all the grease scrolls that the guy had, because grease scrolls are awesome. Grease is easily the most broken mechanic in a game of this type. Easily the most broken thing that I can at least think of right now. I don't think I see anything I actually want him to use. 1 to 4 plus 3 points of force damage. For every 2 beyond the first level, you gain an additional missile. So at this one, he has 2 extra missiles. Or no, he's only going to fire 2 missiles at level 3. Hypnotism. Oh, good. I was wondering about this because, again, Lan is not wearing armor, and to get certain bonuses for his melee combat as a result of his, I think, monk class or Zen archer. I think it's probably Zen archer. Anyway, for certain bonuses for his class, he has to not be wearing armor. But I don't think that means he can't wear or be given mage armor. Yeah, so I've gotten that as well. So only level 4 enemies. And those are... weird. Anyway, I don't really understand what it means, so I don't think I'll put sleep in. We'll leave it as it is for now. So, things have gotten really interesting. Now, the timer starts and we have 30-ish minutes, probably like 20-something, I believe. What about this, though? I don't want to go outside. These have to do something, right? This one's up. No.
Godspeed.
There we go. Is there another one around here? I'd hate to be trying to solve a puzzle without the information I need. They were all already down when we got here. I don't know what they're supposed to do anyway, but I'm curious. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this off for now. We actually do need to rest first so we can have everyone with their skills, or have everyone's spells replenished. And now, just now, they've decided to have the grass cut. I'm pretty sure it's like, it has to be 3 in the afternoon now. I don't know why they decided to do this now. But they did. So let's go ahead and go rest so we can get our spells ready for use. I've also got to deal with this mess. Not looking forward to that. Choose a spell to scribe a scroll. I don't think anyone. Oh. A character assigned to this position can brew potions and cook food at the same time. To cook a meal, they need to have the ingredients and know the recipe. I don't think I actually used the recipe. Interesting.
You know, you lucked out with your horns. At least yours don't tear a hole in every hood you wear. But
that doesn't make sense. They look like they would.
We never had the damn things in the first place.
And thanks to the hearty meal, they now have a +1 to all checks for the rest of the day. Go ahead and get that out of there. I really do need to deal with the hot bars. Let's just chalk that up to later, shall we? So, let's see where this goes. Okay. Joran Vane. Hey, that's, Staunton's brother. I think his name is Staunton, right? A grizzled dwarf turns a blade in his calloused hands, carefully inspecting its edge. When he sees you approaching, he sets the blade aside and greets you with a nod. A new face in the city. You picked a good time to come to Kingmaker. As you can see, we're in sore need of warriors. Do you know everyone in Kingmaker by sight? Well, not everyone, but I make it my business to know the people who might need my services. A blacksmith's work isn't just at the anvil, you know. You've never had any of your kind here before. All sorts come here from every corner of Galarian to volunteer to fight, but this is the first time a fox has ever shown up wanting to be a crusader. Ah, show radiance to Joran. Do you recognize this sword? Do I recognize it? Of course I do. I made this with my own hands. There's my brand, see? The dwarf carefully takes the sword in his hands, gazing at it like a doting father. Oh, Yaniel, things have been tough without you. But at least we've still got your sword. That's something. Joran returns the sword to you. In battle, ordinary swords get blunted. They break. Ooh, this guy's voice is taxing. It's taxing. But sometimes a weapon can preserve. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm no authority on these things, but something like an echo of the deeds done with that weapon? Or more like the reflection of the wielder's soul? I don't know. Look, I'll say one thing. Take care of that sword. Yaniel may no longer be with us, but the demons will still remember why they need to turn tail and run when they see radiance. Ah, the scabbard's all worn. We can't have a fine sword like this being carried around in this tatty thing. I'll make you a new one if you like. If the city stands strong and we both survive, come see me again and I'll have it ready. No charge. I do want to know about his brother. Because, frankly, I'm looking to try and get that guy on my team. That's all I'm saying. I imagine his forge is here because of the demon attacks, otherwise it'd be wherever it would normally be. Frankly, I'm impressed that he's able to actually perform anywhere but where his forge was originally set up. So let's go ahead and confirm that he's Staunton Vane's brother. And I got the name right. Yay! Are you Staunton Vane's brother? Yep. Where he goes, I go. That's how we've always done it, even before the world wound. I forge the armor, he goes into battle and breaks it. He brings it back to me and I repair it and make it better than before. Everything's changed since then, of course, but that part has stayed the same. So how was Staunton to blame for the fall of Dresden? We know a little bit because of what the demon has said, but it's best to hear the whole truth. I've told this story so many times already. Well, telling it one more time won't kill me. The blacksmith sighs. Dresden was built after the First Crusade, back when it seemed like victory was ours for the taking, and that the demon invasion would soon be at an end. The population of Old Sarkoris was thoroughly diminished, and many of them hoped to see their hard fighting repaid with a small plot of unclaimed land. Dresden was a fortress built on all our hopes and on Mendeb's ambitions, though you're not supposed to say that out loud. What a city it was, Morrow. You can't even imagine. It was built by the finest engineers from the Five Kings Mountains. Queen Galfrey spared no expense. Dresden was meant to be the capital of the Crusade movement, a monument to its glory, and a beacon of hope for all Galarian. Heroes were drawn there to seek fame and glory, and they came from all over. Taldor, Garan, Tianxia. I couldn't list them all. A relic known as the Sword of Valor was kept there. The banner that had been carried into battle by Iomade herself, back when she was still human. That banner protected the city and kept the demons from teleporting inside its walls. As long as the banner was in its place, Dresden was invincible. Or so we thought. But then the world wound suddenly expanded. The demons launched a new onslaught and folks started saying it was time to declare the Second Crusade. Dresden was unassailable until one young officer was tempted by a beautiful woman. I'm going to break out of character here and say I'm going to have to call BS on the beautiful woman thing. She has no eyes. I'm going to go ahead and be vulgar here. I can catch a mad erection off of most weird things, but not having any eyes, I'm sorry, but I'm silly putty at that point. That's a bit too much. Anyway, where were we? She convinced him that the banner shouldn't be hanging in the city, that its rightful place was on the battlefield. She whispered honeyed words about glory and valor, and convinced him that he could be a hero as great as Iomade herself. And the poor fool believed her. He rounded up some of his hot-headed friends and carried the banner outside the city gates on an unauthorized foray. The demons slaughtered them in seconds, but for some reason, the courageous ringleader was spared. A whole army teleported into Dresden. It was a bloodbath. Joran solemnly shakes his head. As you can guess, that officer was called Staunton Vane, and the woman turned out to be a demon. Though not just any demon, it was Minago, that foul wretch. She's given us a lot of grief here in Kenabres too. Just don't ask me what I was doing while my brother was off having trysts with that beast, and why I didn't save him from his own stupidity. The blacksmith gestures as if to ward off the inevitable reprobation. Who could have guessed it would end like this? I failed my brother, that's the truth. I blame myself every day, looking at his plight. So, that's the story. Whew. If I don't have to speak in this guy's voice again, it'll be... Frankly, I don't get the phrase. If I don't do such and such, it would only be too soon. Anyway, I get distracted over the silliest of things. So let's see what he has to offer. Armor, naturally. And we have +1 leather armor. He is wearing... I do not have the money for this. Cold iron scimitar and a masterwork scimitar. You know which one is going out. I don't think I have anything for him to use. Whenever this +2 necrotic earthbreaker confirms a critical hit on an enemy, the enemy must pass a fortitude saving throw at a difficulty class of 16 or suffer 2 strength ability damage. Ooh, that is actually kind of cool, but it does depend on landing a crit, and this thing can only crit if you roll a 20, so there is that. An attrition dagger, hold on. This one can crit at 19 or 20. Once a round, when this +1 dagger lands a hit on an enemy, it deals them 1 constitution ability damage. But this power can't lower the target's constitution below 5. I mean, so it could only be better if it was cold iron. That's the only thing that would ever make it better. Living Ram. Whenever the wearer of this breastplate uses... I've stopped the clock again. Whenever the wearer of this breastplate uses the charge combat maneuver and hits an enemy, they deal an additional 1 to 6 bludgeoning damage, and the enemy has to pass a reflex saving throw with a difficulty class of 17 or become prone. That's good. That's darn good. This +1 leather armor grants the wearer a +4 bonus to armor class against sneak attacks. Deceiving Facade. Whenever the wearer receives a crit, they are affected with the effect of Mirror Image. That produces 2 mirror images lasting 2 rounds. Wow. That is objectively incredible. I mean, getting hit with a crit, you probably just explode and end up on the floor anyway, but if you survive... Okay, so I was going to write this off immediately, but I decided, I mean, it's enchanted, so why not at least give it a look? And then I see that this thing, even if it misses an attack, the next attack the wielder makes, even if that one doesn't hit, still deals 1 to 6 bludgeoning damage. I mean, this is perfect for someone who fights only in defensive stance. Huh. God, I wish we actually had some freaking money. All of the enchanted stuff is at the top. Do we have any throwable weapons? It'd be nice to have some throwing hammers. That'd be cool. Star knife. But not throwable. It's a melee weapon. Yeah, so the composite longbow appears to still be a longbow, so I'm good there. I don't need to worry about Lan not being able to get his bonus from that. But don't they have some throwing weapons? Please? Sling. Sling. No, it's a sling staff, not what I was thinking it was. So he doesn't have any throwing weapons. I actually don't need this since I don't need this since I actually have the other thing. Devastating blow from above. Whenever the wielder of this long spear lands a hit, while mounted, it's a two-handed weapon, but you can have a two-handed weapon on horseback, but you can't, or, while mounted, since horses aren't the only things you can actually ride, I presume. I know there are dinosaurs, too. I want one of those so badly. Anyway. But you can have two-handed weapons on a mount, while mounted, I mean. Then why can't you have a person on a boat? Come on! Seems like a wasted opportunity there. Or squandered? Anyway, whatever. When the wielder of this long spear lands a hit while mounted, it deals an additional 1 to 4 piercing damage. I mean... So you really don't have any throwing weapons? Why do you hate justice like this? Detainer. Whenever this +2 heavy crossbow lands a hit, the target must pass a fortitude saving throw with a difficulty check of 16 or be knocked back 15 feet and become slowed for 1 round. Good God, that is 16,900 gold. Severe strike. Confirm a critical hit that deals an additional 1 to 8 damage. Hammer deals an additional +1 holy damage on a hit. What the frick? When it confirms a critical hit. Well, that's a different story altogether. You're unlikely to get those very often. So yeah, dealing AoE damage on a crit isn't all that special then. Can I please get some enchanted throwing weapons? So here we are with the throwables. No. Nope, that's not throwable either. This is... Well, now I'm just sad. Anyway. Oh, wait. Hold on. Give me that. We're done here. So, timer is now running again. It sucks that we're doing it this way, but that takes us out. Let's make sure we're not missing anything or anyone. Peasant survivors. What we're really looking for are named individuals. They'll be the ones that actually have something worthwhile to say. What's this? This place has been sanctified and it can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. Good. So that means I can camp out here and it'll be perfectly safe and we won't get any debuffs. Ooh. Just what I always wanted. Junk. I want to check this area for more loot. Good thing I did. While he's doing that, maybe here. So even if we find some really good stuff, I probably won't sell them anytime soon. I'll just hold on to them because I don't want to stop our momentum. Getting close to getting out of the city and moving on to find something interesting to do. I think the first thing we should do is deal with Horgus Germ. My mistake. The dog is having a field day.
Let us press on.
First, let us make sure we're not missing any loot. We can press on after that. Okay, I think we're all set. So, first things first, this guy. After hiring reliable bodyguards, Horgus set off for his mansion. What could compel this man to risk his life to return to his ravaged home? The answer to that question lies in the ancestral seat of the germs. Okay. The last chapter to complete the quest, or it will fail afterwards. Ooh. So we've got to do all of that stuff, otherwise, well, they auto-fail and we won't be able to do them again. Pretty sure I've seen everything there is to see here. Ooh, how did I miss this? Okay, let's quick save and get out of here. Yeah, no. This is a global map of the city of Kenabres. Move the visible part of the map using the WotR keys and travel to locations you have discovered by hovering your mouse cursor over them and clicking the left mouse button. Some areas might not be available to you for travel for various reasons. As you explore the map and progress through the game, you'll discover new locations and routes. While traveling between locations, you may be attacked by enemies, so make sure you get enough rest. And don't let them take you by surprise. Okay. So we've got the Bataxian wine cellar. That's where Blackwing Library is where the blind, feeble guy is located. That's the Bataxian wine cellar is supposed to be haunted. Market Square is where they want me to find a way across. This is where... Ooh, yeah, we avoid this for now. This is where she said there might be more members of the cult of Baphomet. This is Gwyrm. Topaz Solution is another place where there might be cultists. So, we'll take care of the nearest places in order. We might avoid this since it's probably more like a story beat.
Defeat is not an option.
Great. Okay, so we failed to sneak past these guys. A shear and a shear. There appear to only be the two. I actually don't want him out in front first. Can I get him to do some damage? Ray of Frost. First, let's check his resistances. Against... Ooh, right. Cold iron resistance. That's a bit iffy. Oh, flat-footed, right. So... he's only got one use of grease, as expected. 1d3, 1d3, 1d3. Ooh, couldn't overcome his spell resistance. Not a good look, buddy. Seela goes last, but the enemies don't get to go first, so we're fine. We'll be able to put her forward. Probably... oh. Your enemy shear avoids the negative effects of your spells because of their spell resistance. Spell resistance is a rare ability that can also be acquired through some spells and equipment. Most demons have spell resistance. If a creature you are trying to cast a spell on has a spell resistance, then to cast a spell successfully, you must make a caster level check. 1 to 20 plus your caster level. For the spell to work, your result must be equal or greater than the creature's spell resistance value. Spell resistance works even against the beneficial spells cast by the allies. To overcome the enemy's spell resistance, you should give your spellcaster the spell penetration feat, or improve your spells with meta magic. If an enemy's spell resistance is too high, don't waste spells on them and attack by other means. Well, I just wanted to blind the guy, not do actual harm. But now that I know that demons in general just have spell resistance, it's immune to electricity. Well, I mean, spit in my eye, why don't you? So I think it's level 5? Oh, there it is. 14 spell resistance. Okay. So we can't attack them with spells. Let's go ahead and use that. Put this on her. And then move her into position. I can't move her at all. Great. That's fine. Let's actually get Lan away from here. Hold on. He also has Flurry of Blows, but I can't... I have no idea how to get him to use that. Anyway.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Okay.
Do not hold back.
So what do we have Seela do? Oh, she can't do much. My God. Oh, that's no good. So, we're going to have a rough time here. For some reason, this idiot ran behind her and then attacked her. That's certainly a choice you could make. He's threatened by both of them. How do we play this? Okay. Let's do it this way. First... Wait, he doesn't even have acrobatics. How do you not have acrobatics? How do you not have acrobatics? I can't cast any spells on them. I could go with Grease. Where would I put that? Yeah, better to have them on their backs. But he's threatened by... Let's do that first. Put the grease down. Here. I mean, we just left and we're pretty much already fighting for our lives. That's kind of silly. Okay. Why is he fighting defensively? Anyway, I actually need to get someone over to heal Sela. I could just give her some potions to chug, but those actually cost money. Resting does not. Well, camping does not. Unless it goes terribly awry. So... she does have acrobatics, but I'd have to get... to here. And she'd be threatened. She also wouldn't be able to do anything this turn. How do we deal with this? It's touch range too. And she is not taking another 19 damage. She's just not. So I might have to have her eat. Weird. Why does it have its attack of opportunity all the way over there, but not here? Or anything in between? It's really... that's some disgusting range, frankly. So we'll go here and then... yeah, we should get an attack still.
I'll cut you wide open.
No, you won't. You won't be able to take 2 shots, but... I mean, what can you do, really? This is one that's already injured.
You won't survive me.
That was 9 damage reduced. Not bad. He's threatened. That is stupid. Ow! one temporary HP is not going to save these guys' lives. I can't use magic. I need to remember that. Guidance. Don't really have very many options since we can't use magic against them.
Strike as one.
I actually need to swap her weapon over to this. Thank you ever so kindly. Now, do we have her attack? No, we definitely have her eat some potions.
This'll leave a bruise.
Well, we kind of don't have any options here. We have to go in.
Cover me, all right?
I think we should just go for the kill.
Spirits demand your blood.
She can't do anything else, so we have to sit here. Lan, on the other hand.
Endure this.
Well. I mean, we could summon an elemental, but they have such 14 freaking spell resistance.
Attack.
Drink, drink, drink. She also has lay hands on self as a free action, or a swift anyway. And he just stays there. That's fine.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Magnesium Turinos.
Let's actually turn this off.
Make every strike count.
Its turn comes up next, so I'm going to wait to dispel.
We shall overcome.
Oh, that was a little too close. There's no reason just trash mobs should be hitting for 20 damage. That's kind of dumb. She does not have the ability to dispel, so we'll wait. He had a reflex save, good for him. Good, now get out of there. At least until I get Sela in there.
You are today's sacrifice.
Okay.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel. Mythic Hero.
Well, it was worth a try. God dang, really?
Distract them from me.
He did 12 on it, though.
Go for their hearts!
You won't survive me.
Masterwork. Yep, we'll take that. It is awful out here. I hate it. Is there anything else?
March ahead.
Ugh. That was a bit rough. So, I'm just going to go ahead and rest here, and that's basically where we're going to end the video. We almost got out of here. We almost did. But it went terribly, and so I'm afraid now. Actually, we're going to go through this door. Holy crap. Why in the world are they so strong? Maybe I was right. Maybe they are level 5. If that's the case, that's no good. The bed. This way. Wow. Woo-hoo.
Do you know who your ancestor was, Tiefling? Was it a Mythic, perhaps?
Well, if it turns out I'm the byblow of some Lord of the Abyss, won't you be sorry? By then it'll be too late.
I thought not having WeArEuS, let's call it attitude, would keep things peaceable between our party members, but no. Can't have that, not with Camellia here. Okay, so we're done resting. I probably shouldn't have subjected you guys to that, but here we are. Lessons for tomorrow. Gonna go ahead and quick save and end the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here. Well, the frick? Well, Jiff, okay. It's been a long one. I hope this video is only going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's what I'm aiming for. Again, that's to make up for there not being a video yesterday. I can't say it won't happen again. I'm just going to do my best to see that it doesn't happen again. That is all I can promise. To do my best. And so, with all that said, I'm going to go have some water after this is done. And so, with all that said, we will see you next time.